All right, Shalawam Yasharala, this great Millstone, Louisiana Saints, New Orleans camp, coming back at you with another lesson. But before we get started, as always, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh,
YAHAWAH,
bahasham,
bahasham,
Yahweh Shai,
Shah, Shabbat.
double honors the apostles and elders of great Millstone, and Shalawam to the hopeful elect. So today we're just going to go into how the new bodies are not just a perk. You know, when you come into the truth, you get excited, you hear about the spiritual power, you hear about how the Israelites are going to be changed and made to be gods on the earth, and you look at it as like a added plus because we want, first and foremost, we want forgiveness for our sins, we want dominion over our enemies, we want to have our household in order. These are all things that come with the kingdom, and you can kind of get caught up in looking at the new bodies like a perk, like a cherry on top. But brothers just been meditating on the fact that we need those new bodies. They're not just a perk, they're an actual necessity for us to rule in the kingdom and have everlasting life. We need to be changed out of these bodies. So we could start with matter of fact, we could start with the Romans.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll read for you. Where you started at?
I started at 47, Romans 7 and 47.
Con,
Read down to 53.
con. Wait, 7 and 4.
Like Romans 7 and 14.
Con. Yeah, I was looking for 47. Hold on. My Bible misses them. All right, but this is the book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 14. It says, "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold unto sin."
Yep. And like I said, that's another reason, like you said, we need these bodies because while we's in these flesh, we subject to sin, and we know that the sin is going to bring about death. But keep going.
For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that I do.
Keep going.
If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good.
And go down to 17 also.
Come. Now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me.
So here, uh, all it's going into talking about basically he's fighting to do good, but the harder he fights, you got that flesh that's warring against that spirit, and so like it's making it really impossible for us to really be righteous, to do the right thing. And he's just going into how hard it is of a fight. So keep going.
Come. Verse 18. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not.
Yeah. It's like I said, you want to do good, and that's for all of us, and it's true. We want to do good. We literally want to do what's pleasing unto the Heavenly Father, but we can't in this flesh,
Yeah,
which is why we're saying we need those new bodies.
yeah. Yeah, it's not just a perk, it is a necessity. And really we rebuke our people because they go off, but we go off too. The only
Yep.
difference is we're actually fighting. We're fighting our flesh. Our people have just given over to the flesh. Like, look, the flesh won. I'm gonna just live in the flesh. It is what it is. Since I can't be perfect, I just might as well not even try. That's ultimately the difference between the house of faith. We actually have faith that even though we sin, we're gonna be forgiven of our sins because of YAHAWASHI. So that causes us to fight every day.
Yeah, come on. And you have more respect for a man. You know how they say, especially when you play sports, you always go down fighting. You
Yeah.
don't just give up.
Uh, yeah, even when you lose, like whether it's boxing or really any sport, the team that loses, if you get beat by a better team, there's no shame in that. If
Yeah,
you give your best, you can look at a team like you might have somebody that's an MVP of a team and the team loses, but that's still, oh, that's my favorite player. Even
yep,
though this team lost, you could see the fight in him, man. And that's the elect. We have that fight to the everlasting life. Even though Israel seems like we losing right now, there's certain all stars in Israel, the 144,000. They putting up numbers, man.
yep. Come on. And it's interesting you said it seems like we're losing right now, which
Yeah,
we are losing right now,
yeah,
but but you gotta remember that Yahweh Shai is that trump card.
yeah.
Yahweh Shai is that card that's gonna come and end it all.
God. Everybody loves a good underdog story.
Yeah.
Israel is like we're the comeback kids, like, man, them niggas went through all of that and they gonna get the kingdom. Yes, yes,
Yes.
gonna get the kingdom.
Good.
But you can get Philippians 3 and read 20 and 21.
It's Philippians chapter 3, verse 20. It
Okay.
says, for our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Lord YAHAWASHI, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself.
Yeah, the key word is vile body, man. Our bodies are vile. We constantly sin. Even if you don't physically commit adultery, you still, this society is so out of order. You looking at other men's wives are working with you, they rubbing up against you. You got all of the food that we eat is poison. You check the label and make sure it doesn't have pork, but then sometimes Esau names something that doesn't sound like pork, but pork is in it. It's like,
yeah, Esau giving that triphosphate,
yeah,
all
yeah.
kinds of
Yellow 5, yellow 6. Like, what the fuck is yellow 5, yellow 6? Oh, okay, this is swine. All right. So
then addressing that the workplace,
yeah.
you got your work husband, your
Oh
work
man,
boo and work
Word,
babe.
yeah, total madness, man.
God.
And it's wicked. We laugh about it, but really, it's seriously wicked to have a society where men's wives are working next to other men. They
Yep.
develop feelings, and everything is out of order here. And we've all committed adultery. These women have the seed of different men inside of them, man. They have to be changed. Jake find out they're Israelite. The first thing they want to do is have a Hebrew family. They want to have multiple wives. They want to look. I'm Abraham. You're my Sarah. We're gonna get
Oh
a
yeah.
just madness, man. These women are not Sarah. Like, they're the daughters of Sarah, but they physically need to be changed. And it takes faith to believe that the Lord can physically change you. It's one thing to say, "Oh, this is my religion. I'm Christian. I'm Muslim." No, we're the Israelites. We're the people of the book, and the prophecies in the book. We have faith that those things are going to happen. The Lord
Yep.
coming back and changing. Matter of fact, we got to get that next. The First Corinthians, because when the Lord comes back, we are going to be changed, like physically changed. It's not a right now. There's a spiritual change. We're spiritually being reborn, but there's going to be a physical manifestation of the sons of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Our bodies are physically going to be changed.
Uh, uh.
First Corinthians 15. You can start at. It's all good. You can start at 47.
All right. It's 1 Corinthians 15 and 47. It says, the first man is of the earth, earthy, and the second man is of the Lord from heaven. As is the earthy, such are they also that are earthy. And as is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly.
Right. You have angels that have heavenly bodies. They have celestial bodies. You have men which have earthly bodies. And when you go into the scriptures, a lot of times the prophets are called son of man, or even Yahushua, he's called son of man. When you go into the Hebrew, that word man there is Adama. We're all sons of Adam. Adam, the Hebrew word Adama means from the earth. So we're in these bodies that are from the earth, and the earth is constantly getting weaker. The earth is constantly becoming more and more defiled through pollution, the air, the water. This devil, in the middle of the 20th century alone, he let off a bunch of nuclear missiles all over the world just to test out his nuclear capabilities. And what did that do? That raised the radiation of every living animal on the earth, man. Every
Yep.
living creature has radiation poison, like low levels of radiation poisoning, but it's measurable, man. We're not right, man. You got the 5G towers, the 4G towers. People made a big deal out of 5G, but 4G itself, this stuff lowers your sperm count. It lowers the veracity and power of your sperm. Wi-Fi. You got routers in your house. All of that stuff is poisoning you, man. It's not going to exist in the kingdom. We're not going to have Wi-Fi routers in the kingdom of heaven. That's
Yep.
everything here is off. Yeah, you can keep going.
All right. It says, and as we have borne the image of the earthy, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, neither doeth corruption inherit incorruption.
Right. It says flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, man. We can't go into the kingdom and rule with these bodies. Jake really thinks the kingdom is going to be us just like we are right now, but we're going to be wearing a lot of gold. We're going to be how we look exactly how we look now, except we're going to have gold chains and a gold crown. No, man, we're going to be our whole image is going to be completely different, man. We're going to be much taller,
Yep.
stronger. Just the weapons that we're going to carry to put judgment on the heathen. You try to pick up an ancient sword right now, man. Your back will throw out, your
Yeah.
knees will buckle.
Yeah.
Our people walking around with giant swords and hammers, and this stuff is in museums, man. You look at a door handle was like this tall. You had to be you had to be a mighty man just to open certain doors, man.
And look, we wouldn't even be able to handle the food,
Yeah,
like handle real food that actually nutritious to our bodies. Nah.
yeah, man. If you eat a real apple, like a real apple, you drop dead, man. So many nutrients that go through your body would be like, what is this? This is real
Yeah.
fruit. Like we say all the time, man, we've never had a real banana. Bananas have seeds. Every fruit has a seed, man.
Yep. Yep. And like you said, when you go into that Genesis, he said, "I give you every fruit and herb of the field yield a seed after its kind." So, like you
God,
said, all the fruits that have seeds.
God. Matter of fact, before you continue on that Corinthians, let's get this in Esdras. You can
All right.
break it down. This is Second Esdras, chapter 5. We can start at 52. It says, "Say unto her, wherefore are unto they whom thou hast now brought forth like those that were before, but less stature."
Yep. And like I said, it's talking about the earth bringing forth, because as the earth ages, so it's almost like a geriatric pregnancy, because the earth has aged, so thus the things that are in the earth that it brings forth, it's going to be less of stature, less of what's the word I think is it, this is where, yeah, yeah, that's the help. And that's the thing about it. And that's what's actually going on here. Go ahead.
God. It says, "And she shall answer thee, that they that be born in the strength of youth are of one fashion, and they that are born in the time of age, when the womb faileth, are otherwise."
Exactly. So that's why I said, that's why when the earth was younger, this earlier says that the world has lost its youth. So when the earth was younger, the things were more in their strength. They were stronger. They were better. They were more nutritious. But like I said, as the world continues on, it loses all of that, which is another reason why Yahushua said, if no flesh shall be saved, if you
God,
didn't shorten the days. All
God,
right. But go ahead.
God. And just real quick, like when we get back to that Corinthians, you're gonna read how we're gonna be changed. Now, if we're of the earth and our bodies, the same minerals in the earth are in our bodies, and we're gonna be changed, what does that mean? The earth is gonna be changed too. We're not going
Yep.
to go to another planet. When you read about a new earth, that doesn't mean it's another planet. This earth is going to be refreshed. Everything's going to be refreshed. The kingdom, when you back in Romans, it says the whole creature moaneth. The whole all of creation is waiting for Israel to get right, because when Israel is right, everything else is going to be right too, man. Those devils. What was that? Reagan. They had that trickle down economics. We're going to actually have a trickle down economic system in the kingdom. We're all going to be gods. The Israelite man, that's going to trickle down to the Israelite woman, child. That's going to trickle down to the heathen, the rest of the animals, and the plants, the water, everything. It's going to start with Israel being made perfect, and then you're going to see perfection just spread across creation, man. Just the same way you see death and corruption spreading from Esau, life is going to spring forth from YAHAWASHI and his men. But this is verse 53, Salaki 54. It says, "Consider thou therefore also how that ye are less of stature than those that were before you."
Yep. And that's like you were saying. I mean, like we are less in stature, less in height, less in strength, in all ways. Okay.
Yeah. It says, "And so are they that come after you less than ye." And this was written, this is like during the Persian Empire, it's Ezra. So this is like,
What, maybe what, 3,000 years
yeah,
ago?
less than 3,000, like
Yeah.
maybe 25. Like this is like
Yeah.
right before the Greeks took over, and just evils
Yeah.
were multiplied on the earth. It tells you that Maccabees, as soon as Esau got in there, evils were multiplied on the earth. He was just defiling everything. He defiled the temple. So you could imagine how big Jake was back then, man. When
Yeah.
you look at how big the Romans were, we were bigger than that before then. So how much more in the Persian Empire, the Assyrian Empire? They have that I forget what it's called, but they got commemorating taking down Jake. you had these giant, Israelite men with cornrows, and you see the Negro features. But we were
Oh,
mighty men back then.
yep. God.
It says, and so are they that come after you, less than you, as the creatures which now begin to be old and have passed over the strength of youth.
It is. That is, and as I said, as if we were to continue on, man, we'll all just be old and feeble. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like we
yeah,
really wouldn't be able to handle nothing. Because think about also how the diseases in the earth, how we easily get common cold, sinuses and all that stuff. Like that wasn't a huge problem and stuff back then.
yeah. Child cancer. There was a time
Yeah,
when child cancer was so rare that if a child got cancer, they would make a wish. Celebrities to fly out to the hospital. That was a big deal for a child to
yeah.
be dying of cancer. Now children have all kind of ailments, and this is a sick world we live in, man.
Yeah, kind. And think about this, because when you think about it, we have all these hospitals and stuff here. There was not hospitals and things like that back in the day because there was no need for
Yeah, yeah. Your wife, your they have like a midwife. You had the women in your family were nurses and doctors. They just
them.
naturally understood the herbs and how to take care of people. Now it's like these people are useless, man. The men, the women, you have to outsource everything. You have to outsource the functions of a man and a woman to the state. A
Yep.
hospital, or elementary school. None of these things existed in the ancient world. You paying somebody to teach your children.
Yeah,
Your wife would teach your children. That's her job.
exactly.
But we can get back to that Corinthians. If you were
All
on
right.
read 50 again, Baba Gaja.
All right. This First Corinthians 15 and 50 it says, "Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, neither doeth corruption inherit incorruption."
Right. Incorruption, you can't get incorruption out of corruption. You can't take something that's defiled and decrepit and then make something perfect and righteous out of it. What happens is, just incorruption, more incorruption comes from that. Like the scripture says, a little bit of leaven leaveneth the whole lump. So in order to have perfection, you have to start fresh. We have to be changed. That's what I was going to say. Keep going.
It says, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed."
Right. The last trump, that's talking about when the missiles go off, there's going to be a point when uh, we're going to be a frightened, tells you in Revelation, we're going to be, even those that make it out of the destruction, we're going to be scared because it's going to be in the twinkle of an eye. It's going to be like that. You're going to see missiles just completely cover the sky, and it's going to look like there's no hope. But in that last minute, in the last trump, YAHAWASHI is going to call up his elect, and we're going to be changed. It's going to be man, just talking about it is like, man, like it's
It's
crazy.
gonna be
But that's
beautiful.
what happens. Yeah. Matter of fact, keep going because it's going to tell you that after that moment, we're never going to die again. We're never going to feel the sting of death. Keep going.
Right? It says, "For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when the corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and the mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, Death is swallowed up in victory."
Come on, keep going.
It says, "O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?"
Right.
And
So death,
if you want me to make a point real quick, that's why Yahweh Shai was able to rise, because death couldn't hold him.
yeah,
Death had to spit him back out because he had not went off. He had no sin, and we know the wages of sin is death.
right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he overcame, man. And we
Yeah,
overcome through the blood of the Lamb. We're joint heirs with Yahushua, which means death is not going to have any power over us. Satan's not going to have any power over us. We're going to judge angels. Satan's going to work for us in the kingdom. Right now, you fight with demons. You fight with certain, just whatever you have. Every brother's got his own. They say in the world, Jake got a monkey on his back. In the
yeah,
kingdom, man, we're not going to have any demons. We're not going to be fighting our flesh. We're not going to go off. The heathen are going to go off, and we're going to judge them.
yeah.
If you can get you have one? Or
Yeah. Mind if I get Second Ezra chapter 7. Let's see. Start at 47 and read on down.
God, the second Ezra chapter 7, verse 47. For what profit is it for men now in this present time to live in heaviness and after death to look for punishment? Question
So
mark.
yeah, so Ezra, he was, he was troubled by seeing what was promised to us, but then we're being subject, subject to sin and going off. So it's like we're going off here, and then we're gonna be punished afterward. But we have this promise of something good to come.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
God. O thou Adam, what hast thou done? For though it was thou that sinned, thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come of thee.
Yeah, so all of us that came after Adam, and we all suffering from him going off. Go ahead.
It says, for what profit is it unto us if there be promised us an immortal time, whereas we have done the works that bring death?
Keep going.
And that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves, being most wicked, are made vain.
Go on to the next one.
Con. And that there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety, whereas we have lived wickedly.
And read 52 also.
Con. And that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a weary life, whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all.
So he's saying, look, matter of fact, read 53. We're gonna finish stop there.
Con. And that there should be showed a paradise whose fruit endureth forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it.
So Ezra says he's toiling and questioning and wondering in his mind if the Lord has promised us hope, health, safety, a paradise, how are we gonna get it?
Yeah.
We have, because like you said, because we have done the works of death that bring death. And in this flesh, we do the works that bring death, so we can't get that paradise, that safety, that hope. We can't inherit that. Which going back into that First Corinthians, that this corruption can't inherit that incorruption.
Con.
So we need, like you said, starting off the video, we need those bodies. It's not a perk. This is something that we need. And Ezra was so troubled, but he obviously he didn't understand, or he didn't know that the Lord had already set up for YAHAWASHI to come and make that way for us to get to be able to get there, because this was prior to the end. So at this point, we had no hope.
God, that's a beautiful point. That's why Apostle Paul, which you just read in Corinthians, he said, "Behold, I show you a mystery." See, right now it's not a mystery to us because we've been initiated, we understand the truth. But imagine Ezra's, imagine Isaiah, Jeremiah. Even when Yahushua was on the scene, he didn't fully give the disciples everything up front. Just imagine knowing who we are, the Israelites, where we came from, how we got to this position, and then somebody's explaining to you there's a kingdom of everlasting life, and we're gonna have the heathen in captivity, even though they're ruling over us right now. They have this advanced technology. Like it takes a great deal of faith to hear about the kingdom, what we're going to be doing in the kingdom, and look at where we are now. Like how are we going to get there? What has to happen? We have to be changed. That's the mystery. We're going to be changed. We're going to be literal gods walking the earth. We're not going to ever sin. We're not going to ever go off. Again, we're not going to be just like we are now, except with gold. Like, no, we're going to be completely different.
Yep. Good. Jay just want gold and women.
Gold and hoes, man. Gold and hoes. Like the kingdom of heaven is just going to be one 24/7 rap video. We're going to be rapping. We're going to have the chain. We're going to have the bitches. They be shaking their ass with the head wrap. We're just going to be some niggas in paradise, man. Nah, man. The kingdom of heaven is not niggas in paradise. We're going to be a nation of kings and priests. It's going to be pristine, like clean. Like the heathen are going to really look at us and say, this is a wise and great people. Like Queen of Sheba, she was just in awe, just looking at random things in the kingdom. Beyond just Solomon himself, the whole kingdom was ordered so well. She was just like, man, that's how the heathen are going to be, because we're going to be in perfect order. But if you could get, matter of fact, let me get this from the comment board real quick. Yeah, you breaking up. You might want to leave and come back. This is Gabar. Shalawam. YAHAWASHI. It's 2 Corinthians 5:1. For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of the Most High, a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens.
Yep.
It says, for in this we groan, earnestly desiring to be clothed upon with our house, which is from heaven. So, yeah, man, we earnestly groan for those new bodies, man, those celestial bodies. We're going to be able to come to and fro from the chariots. Every Israelite's going to have, every man of the Lord is going to have a chariot above his house. We're going to be able to travel through different dimensions. Jake hears that it's like a comic book or some kind of sci-fi movie, but that's going to be the daily life of an Israelite, which is going to have no limitations.
Yeah. No worries. Like you said, we don't have to worry about waking up and going to no job.
But there's not going to be jobs in the kingdom. You're not going to have jobs in the kingdom, man? Come on, man. How are we going to get paid?
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, that's inside joke. Jake talking about working in the kingdom, man. No, we're not going to have jobs in the kingdom of heaven. The heathen are going to work for us. All the money's going to flow into us. Our faces are going to be on the money.
Yeah, exactly. No, we don't have to worry about, getting, as they say, getting shot in the streets, dealing with, like I always love to say, you don't have to worry about a nigga coming up to your chariot and stealing an emerald off there.
Yeah. Jake's stealing rims, man. That's not going to happen in a cage. First of all, our people are all going to be rich. They're not going to have to offer anything. And secondly, they're going to have the new covenant, which requires a new body to keep. Matter of fact, we got to get that next. The Hebrews 8. You can start at 6. Because our whole people, it tells you in Isaiah, the 60th chapter, the 21st verse, that all Israel is going to be righteous. All of our people are going to be righteous. It's not enough just 144,000 to be right, and then a bunch of niggas on the side that's scheming and plotting and want to rob you. That's not going to happen in the kingdom, man. Every Israelite is going to be righteous.
All right, where you want to start at?
Verse 6.
All right. This Hebrews chapter 8, verse 6. It says, but now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which is established upon better promises.
Right, established upon better promises, man. The laws are going to be written, not on stony hearts, but fleshly heart, meaning we're going to be able to keep it. It's not going to be, we're not going to break it. We're not going to have these bodies, basically. It's an imperative that we have new bodies in order to keep the new covenant, which that further proves that it hasn't been fulfilled yet. Jake talking about we under the new covenant now, but you're still teaching.
Yeah.
Bug out, man.
Yeah, like you said, because a major component of the new covenant is the laws being written within us. So like you said, in Isaiah 6, our people shall be all righteous. So we're not going to be teaching our people anymore. That's a part of that new covenant.
Yeah, it's going to say, if you read.
It says, for if the first covenant have been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For the finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
What about everybody else, man?
I was just going to say that. It's just Israel. Yeah. And it says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord.
Right. When the Lord brought us out of Egypt, we still had these sinful bodies. So we went off constantly. We read the book of Judges. We just go off, go into captivity, go off, go into captivity. Yeah. Why? Because we had these bodies. We didn't want to go into slavery, but it wasn't written for us to have an everlasting rest at that time. Joshua was which is YAHAWASHI. The name Joshua was YAHAWASHI, not the actual YAHAWASHI, but in this new kingdom, the YAHAWASHI, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, he's going to bring us to an everlasting rest. Joshua brought us into a temporary rest, so it's going to be an upgrade. That's why it says this is a better. YAHAWASHI is a mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. This is a better promise than Moses and Aaron. This is a better promise than King David. This is a better promise than this is the actual new covenant, man. That comes with new bodies, which are, again, it's a necessity. It's not a perk. It's not an additional thing. It's not like something. It's not a cherry on top. This is the foundation. We need to be changed in order for this to happen. Keep going.
It says, For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every, hold on, I got it. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest.
All shall, man, that's beautiful, man. It
Yeah,
says, I will be to them a power and they shall be to me a people. Right now, we're still a chosen people. We're still the Israelites, but when you look at the Israelites now, you don't see Yahweh. You don't see,
yep,
uh, we're not in his image right now. We keep the commandments to the best of our ability, but we go off. The Most High didn't go off. So if we're supposed to be an embodiment of Yahawashi, which is the image, the express image of Yahweh, and we're sinning, we're going to fuck off, man. You
yep,
when someone looks at your son, they're supposed to see you. They're supposed to see the father. And
yep,
when you look at the Israelite man now, it's like, okay, this dude, he's going off. He's got tattoos. He's committing adultery. He's worshiping
yep,
different idols, speaking English, like just everything's man in the kingdom, man. We're gonna when you see an Israelite man, you're gonna be like, that's them dudes right there. That's the sons of Yahweh. It's
yep,
gonna be known. You're gonna see Yahweh when you look at an Israelite.
yep. And that's for the sons and the wives, because we was likened unto a wife, unto the bride,
Yeah,
Yahushua and the son. So like you said, when you see the son, you see the image of the father, and likewise as the wife, you see, that's the image of her husband, because she's on his program, you know,
I think that's in
she is an extension of him.
in Proverbs 31 where it speaks about how the virtuous woman when she's out and people see the virtuous woman, they okay, that's so and so's wife. Like
Yep,
you see a woman that's in order, your first thought is okay, I got to respect her husband because his wife is in order.
yep,
A chast covered up woman that conducts herself with class, that's the ultimate reflection on the husband, which is
exactly.
another reason that the Lord turned our women into complete harlots was to shame us.
Yep,
The way we look at the nigga woman, that's how the Most High looks at us. Like, man, y'all are out of order. Y'all are, committing spiritual adultery. We spiritually twerking in the streets. That's how the
yeah,
Lord looks at us. The same way Eve is acting, man. So in the
yep,
kingdom, when we get made right and Eve is made right, like the brother said, the whole house is going to be in order. People are
yep.
just going to look at the Israelites and just be in awe of how perfect we are, man. The perfection of beauty.
And that's
That can't
how
happen
beautiful.
unless we change. You got it.
Exactly, and that's how beautiful it is, because man, when you actually look and read these scriptures, man, it's a love story,
Yeah.
from our power into basically our husband, and then from us, because we, like you say, we were spiritually out there
Spiritually
in the
twerking.
streets. I like that one, Doc. I like
Yeah,
that
that's
spiritual.
what we're doing. But
That's a good
that's
one.
like the same way we look at Eve, though. That's how the
Yeah.
Most High looks at us. Like imagine
Yep.
you create the Israelites, right? You give them the law, statutes, commandments, and you see them worshiping Tammuz. That's you
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
basically you like what? Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
That's why I said that the Lord is a jealous power. And that's that that's that jealousy spirit. I mean, because as a man, if your woman out there doing that kind of stuff, I mean, yeah, that's gonna really heat you, make you
yeah,
piss you off.
yeah. This world teaches you that's wrong. You're insecure. You're not supposed to be jealous. That's not in the scriptures. You're supposed to be jealous over your woman because that's your property. The Most High is
Exactly.
jealous over us, man. But let me get this real quick. Kabar brought out Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 15. I'm gonna start at 13. This is Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 13. It says, for the Most High made not death, neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living, for he created all things that they might have their being. And the generations of the world were healthful, and there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth, for righteousness is immortal. Right? Righteousness is immortal, man. So when you go into the kingdom, if we're going to be made righteous, like the brother said earlier, the wages of sin is death. So if we don't sin, what are our wages going to be?
Yep.
Immortality. How are you going to be
Hey,
immortal in this body that we have right now? Brother's got back issues, knee issues. shoulder issues, neck. Like, Jake broken
Yeah,
down.
yeah. Problems all over.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
We can't rule in these bodies. We can't rule in these bodies.
yep, yep.
I ain't
Hey,
chasing it either.
hey, good boy, Shalawam, bahasham myself. I actually had that one on deck too. So,
Oh, kind.
cause the spirit brought it out.
That's the spirit. Yeah, man. We all in the spirit of getting them new bodies, man. And
Yeah,
it's deeper than just like we say all the time. It's not just about a rap video, just having a bunch of chains and hoes. It's about actually being righteous, man, being perfect. Which we can't be perfect in this place. It's impossible. These other camps teaching you got to keep every law, brother. You put fringes on your drawers, brother. You got to always like, man, you're gonna bug yourself out. And a lot of the congregation get bugged out trying to keep the law perfectly. When our forefathers couldn't even keep the law perfectly.
yep.
We're gonna do it perfect in America.
Yeah, in the land of your captivity, you can't. It's literally impossible. We say it all the time. You got to have sovereignty. We would have to have sovereignty if we want to actually be able to keep our law.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to come. And that's why he said part of that promise is that we're going to be taken from amongst our enemies, given our land, and we're going to dwell in safety. And nobody else is going to be in there with us.
Yeah.
And we're going to have great authority over the whole earth, too.
When you read Luke, it tells you that salvation is that we're delivered from the hand of our enemies, so that we could serve the Lord, without fear of repercussions for, exacting a judgment, without fear of a heathen telling us we can't do this and can't do that to our own children, our own women, our neighbor. We're going to be able to judge righteously in the kingdom.
Exactly.
If you can get 1 John 3, you can start at the top and just read on down.
All right. This 1 John chapter 3, verse 1, it says, "Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of the power. Therefore, the world knoweth us not, because we knew him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of the Most High, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is."
Right. We know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him. Now, what do we know about YAHAWASHI's second coming? Scriptures tell you in Isaiah, he's not going to meet you as a man. He's not going to come back as some regular guy in a regular body, lowly on a donkey. You could just, crucify him. Nah, man. He's coming back as an angelic force. And it says, we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him. We shall see him as he is. We're going to be in our original order, a godlike state, not our original order as in the Adamites, even before then, when we were gods creating everything, the Halalyam. We can't be the Halalyam in these bodies, man. Just some regular Jake with a patchy beard, eyeglasses. You nearsighted, but you're a perfect God on the earth, man. But you nearsighted. Man, just like, wait, what? Are you trying to tell? Okay, I'm a God. I'm an Israelite. I'm a God. But you squinting shit like,
Yeah.
Jake
And
that like,
and those different elements and the things you have in our bodies, such as, like I said, the loss of eyesight, different pains. Those are all components of this flesh that decays.
Yeah.
Because as like I said, it gets old, it decays. When you have that which will be extra, our bodies will be extraterrestrial, those spiritual bodies. That's something you're not going to worry about. But once again, there's a need for that.
Yeah, it's not a perk; it's a necessity. But you can get Wisdom of Solomon 9 and 14.
All right.
You can read 14 and 15.
This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse 14, it says, "For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain. For the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthy tabernacle weigheth down the mind, that museth upon many things." Oh, that's good.
It says It says the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain. And the corruptible body presseth down the soul. Man, you get depressed in these bodies, man. All these physical ailments. You know, you got brothers that's in their early 20s with all sorts of ailments that old men used to get in the ancient days. You got
Yeah,
young men, you got teenagers with you got young men with erectile dysfunction, man. That's totally off, man. That's unheard of. Again, we got children with cancer. You got, you know, it just one problem after another, man. You get over one, you know, your knee hurting, you get over knee pain, and your back hurting. It's just is one thing after another, man, and it presses down and it weighs down your spirit because our
yeah.
spirits, man. But really, our spirits are pure energy, and our spirits are trapped right now in chains of darkness. We're trapped, man. We're supposed to be completely free and sovereign, which we're neither here. We're not free or sovereign.
You mind if I grab this one here? Second Ezra, get Second Ezra chapter 4 and read verse 21.
The second Ezra chapter 4, verse 21. For like as the ground is given unto the wood, and the sea is to his floods, even so they that dwell upon the earth may understand nothing but that which is upon the earth. And he that dwelleth above the heavens may only understand the things that are above the heights of the heavens.
So that's another thing. We can't fully understand everything in the heavens or even everything in the earth without those bodies. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. We really don't know the interworkings of how things actually work in this earth or in the heavens. We have a small, I say 0.0001% of an understanding of how things actually work.
Yeah, Esau pretends to have it all. He pretends to have all the answers. And what does he do? He ends up lying, making things up,
Yeah.
having his own personal science that gets debunked every other year. And then there's a new factual science and that gets debunked. Like
Yeah.
scriptures say, hardly do we guess aright on things on the earth, man.
Yeah.
But
And we need that in order to really establish and fully govern the kingdom. We need the understanding of these things. We will actually have the understanding of the element, the understanding of get the knowledge of the stars and the alignment of the sun and the moon and all those things that we lost too.
yeah, if we're going to have spiritual powers and be able to control the elements, then of course we have to understand elements. The Lord's not going to give us power over water and over to be able to manipulate metal and do all these things without any understanding. You wouldn't give your son, the keys to a car with no understanding of what a car is or how it operates. So
Yeah,
we're going to have the full knowledge of creation because we're going to govern over creation.
exactly.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Yeah, that was.
It's gone. So
I have anything else?
yeah. So again, so these bodies, these new bodies that we read about that we're going to be exercising, it's not a perk. It's not an added plus. It's an actual necessity. It's the foundation of how we're going to rule in the kingdom because we're going to be changed. So Abaratazah, this lesson was edifying to the elect of Israel. We're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Yahawash. Double honors the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to the hopeful elect. Shalawam.
Shalawam.